Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we're getting persuasive, specifically with the written word, marketing and copywriting and all that. So we're going to be looking at this piece called From USP to Persuasion, the ultimate copywriting technique. And, yeah, we're just going to kind of see what we can learn. And hopefully you guys listening can take away some good stuff you can apply to your own work.
Sounds good. Well, when it comes to writing persuasively, especially in marketing, there's a really classic structure that a lot of good copy uses. You got your title, your subtitle, and then the body text. And each of those elements plays a really specific role in how the whole message comes across.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's kind of like, man, if you were building a house, you have that really nice looking facade to get people's attention, and then you have the doorway that's kind of inviting. Yeah. And once you're inside, that's where you can really,
explore. Yeah. It's a great analogy. And just like building a house, you need a different set of skills for each part of the process. Like the title that needs to have that wow factor, it's got to grab people's attention, almost like a little bit of poetry in there. And then you have the subtitle, and that kind of expands on the title and gives you a little more information, a little taste of what's to come. And then the body text is where you really lay out all the details.
Okay, so we've got this blueprint for how to structure things, but where do we even start? How do we actually go from, just a blank page?
Yeah.
To copy that actually works and is persuasive?
Well, it all begins with really understanding the product's unique selling propositions. Those USPs? Basically, what makes it stand out from all the other products out there? What makes it special? And, we talk about FFAs all the time. Features, functions, advantages, and benefits. Finding the USPs from all of that is really key. It's almost like you're panning for gold.
Yeah, you're trying to find the nuggets.
Yeah.
The real valuable stuff. Okay, so we're sifting through all this stuff to find the gold. Can you give us an example of how that would work in the real world?
Sure. Let's say we are working on marketing a new line of high-end headphones. So one of the big USPs of these headphones is the noise-canceling technology. They really let you just focus on the music and block out everything else.
Makes sense.
So when we're thinking about FFBs, you have a feature like the really advanced algorithms that filter out all the noise. And then the functions would be like, how it connects so seamlessly with Bluetooth. And then the advantages would be how it helps you focus and reduce distractions. And then the benefit is that you can just enjoy listening to your music and you feel less stressed. So you see how all of that is tied together.
Yeah. So you're really painting a picture for the listener. You're not just telling them what it does. You're telling them how it's going to make their life better.
Yeah. And that's where this Picasso technique can be really useful.
Picasso.
Yeah. It's basically a way to connect a USP with a chain of reasoning. That leads to a conclusion.
Okay, I'm listening.
So let's stick with these headphones. We know that unparalleled noise cancellation is one of the big USPs. So you start with that. Unparalleled noise cancellation. And then you say, because our headphones use these advanced algorithms to block out even the most annoying sounds.
Okay.
And you can add another because statement to make it even stronger. So because these algorithms are so effective, you can listen to your music without getting distracted no matter where you are. Like if you're on a train or trying to work in a busy office, it doesn't matter.
So you're making it really clear how this feature is actually going to benefit the listener. You're connecting the dots for them.
Exactly. And then you finish it off with a so statement to really drive home the positive outcome. So with our headphones, you can finally experience the pure joy of listening to music without any of the noise and stress of the world around you.
Wow. That's actually really powerful. You're taking something technical like noise cancellation and turning it into something emotional.
Right. You're appealing to their emotions.
I like it.
But keep in mind, crafting a compelling story is only the first step. You need to refine it and make sure it's as good as it can be.
So it's not just about the big ideas, it's about the details too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you've got this beautiful raw diamond and you're carefully polishing it to make it really shine.
You want it to sparkle.
Right. And that's what we're doing with our copy. We're making it clear and concise and making sure there are no errors, no typos, no grammatical mistakes, nothing that's going to distract the reader. In fact, the source we're looking at today has this really handy checklist for this part of the process.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So first, you want to go through and make sure that there aren't any contradictions or any parts where you're repeating yourself. You want to make sure that every sentence is adding something new.
Yeah, keep it interesting.
Right. And then it's time for the proofreading. Got to make sure there aren't any typos, any grammatical errors, any weird phrasing, anything that could trip up the reader.
Yeah, because even a small mistake can really take someone out of the experience. It breaks the flow.
Exactly. And one thing that I always recommend is reading your copy out loud.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be surprised at how many clunky sentences or awkward transitions you catch when you actually hear them spoken.
Yeah, it's like you become your own audience. You're hearing it from their perspective.
Exactly. And speaking of perspective, it's so important to remember that even the most amazing copywriting is just one piece of the puzzle.
So we need to zoom out a little. Look at the big picture.
Right. You need to think about all the other factors, like the features of the product itself, your target audience, their psychology, and how you're communicating with them. Like a catchy slogan might work really well on social media, but it might not be as effective in a print ad.
Yeah. You got to use the right tool for the job.
Exactly. And understanding your audience is so important. You need to know what they need, what their pain points are, what kind of language they respond to. The more you know about them, the better you can tailor your message, so it really resonates with them.
So we're really trying to connect with them on a deeper level.
Exactly. And that brings us to another really crucial aspect of persuasive writing, especially in today's globalized world: cultural consideration.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Because what might work in one culture might not work at all in another.
Exactly. And the source material actually has some really interesting questions to think about here.
Okay, let's hear them.
Okay, so first, can your copy be easily translated into other languages, especially the languages spoken by your target audience?
So that's a good starting point.
Yeah, you want to make sure that your message isn't getting lost in translation. And then, can you translate copy from a foreign language into your own language while still keeping the main idea and impact? It's not just about translating the words literally, it's about capturing the spirit of the message.
Like if you were translating a song.
Yeah.
You'd want to keep the same feel.
Exactly. And then, this is a really important one. Could your copy accidentally offend people from different cultures?
Yeah.
Because of different values or sensitivities?
Oh, yeah, you definitely don't want to do that.
Right. You have to be really mindful of those cultural nuances to make sure your message is being received positively.
Makes sense.
And then the final test. Can you recreate your copy in another language and still have it be persuasive? This is where you really need a deep understanding of both language and culture.
It's like taking a dish from one cuisine and recreating it using ingredients from a different region.
Exactly. If you can do that, your message can truly connect with people all over the world.
Wow. That's really powerful. So we've covered a lot of ground today, from the nitty-gritty of structuring our copy to the bigger picture of understanding our audience and their culture.
Yeah, it's been a great discussion.
I think it would be helpful to kind of summarize the key takeaways from all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So first things first, we got to remember those unique selling propositions, those USPs. They're like the foundation of everything we're talking about.
Yeah, those are the things that really make a product stand out.
Exactly. And once you've figured out those USPs, don't forget about that deep piso technique.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
It's a simple way to make your arguments flow logically and lead people to where you want them to go.
It's like building a bridge from the features of the product to the benefits for the customer.
Exactly. And while we're building that bridge, we got to make sure our copy is top-notch,
Yeah, no typos, no grammar mistakes.
Exactly. We want it to be clear, concise, and easy to read.
Make it shine.
And it's also important to remember that copywriting is just one part of the whole marketing picture.
Right. We got to think about the product itself, the audience, how they think, and how we're reaching them.
Exactly. It all has to work together.
Harmony.
And finally, in today's world, we can't forget about cultural differences.
Yeah, what works in one place might not work somewhere else.
Exactly. So be mindful of those cultural nuances and make sure your message is being received well.
Respect.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one last thought. Think about the projects you're working on right now. How can you use these techniques to write copy that really connects with your audience, considering their needs and their cultural background?
It's a challenge, but it's also exciting.
It is. It's all about learning and adapting and finding new ways to connect with people through words.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. We've learned a lot about persuasive writing, from identifying those USPs to navigating the world of global communication.
Remember, strong copywriting is about understanding your product, your audience, and the power of language.
So go out there and put these techniques to work. Write copy that sings, copy that converts, and copy that makes a difference. Until next time, happy writing.